I'm wishing you a huge congratulations on today, the start of all the impact you're going to make in the world as the leaders that we all so deeply crave.
This week, Meghan surprises the class of 2020, Philip turns 99, and Charles opens up about family.
Fortunately, at least you can speak to them on telephones and occasionally do this sort of thing, but it isn't the same, is it? You really want to give people a hug every now and then.
Welcome to the Royal Report, everyone. I'm your host, Sharon Carpenter, and it's been another busy week for the royal family, so let's get right to the news. On Wednesday, Buckingham Palace confirmed that there will be a small, brief military ceremony at Windsor Castle on June 13th. Sadly, this will be held instead of the traditional Trooping the Colour Parade, which of course is the 260-year-old celebration of the monarch's birthday and one of the annual highlights of the royal calendar. Also on Wednesday, Meghan delivered an extremely heartfelt virtual commencement address to the graduating class of her alma mater, Immaculate Heart High School in Los Angeles. Take a look.
For the past couple weeks, I've been planning on saying a few words to you for your graduation. And as we've all seen over the last week, what is happening in our country and in our state and in our hometown of LA has been absolutely devastating. And I wasn't sure what I could say to you. I wanted to say the right thing, and I was really nervous that I wouldn't, or that it would get picked apart, and I realized the only wrong thing to say is to say nothing.
After referencing the killing of George Floyd and the ongoing Black Lives Matter protests, the Duchess drew parallels from her own memories of attending Immaculate Heart back in 1992.
I was 11 or 12 years old when I was just about to start Immaculate Heart Middle School in the fall, and it was the LA riots, which was also triggered by a senseless act of racism. The other thing, though, that I do remember about that time was how people came together. And we are seeing that right now. We are seeing that from the sheriff in Michigan or the police chief in Virginia. We are seeing people stand in solidarity. We are seeing communities come together and to uplift. And you are going to be part of this movement.
Meghan also reminded everyone to focus on the positive despite the current global pandemic and widespread civil unrest.
I know that this is not the graduation that you envisioned, and this is not the celebration that you imagined. But I also know that there's a way for us to reframe this for you and to not see this as the end of something, but instead to see this as the beginning of you harnessing all of the work, all the values, all the skills that you have embodied over the last 4 years, and now you channel that. Now all of that work gets activated. Now you get to be part of rebuilding. And I know sometimes people say, how many times do we need to rebuild? Well, you know what? We are going to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild until it is rebuilt.
Finally, Meghan concluded her inspirational 6-minute speech by reminding the graduates that they can and will make a difference.
You are going to lead with love. You are going to lead with compassion. You are going to use your voice. You are going to use your voice in a stronger way than you've ever been able to, because most of you are 18 or you're going to turn 18, so you're going to vote. You are going to have empathy for those who don't see the world through the same lens that you do, because with as diverse and vibrant and open-minded as I know the teachings at Immaculate Heart are, I know you know that Black Lives Matter. So I am already excited for what you are going to do in the world. You are equipped, you are ready, we need you, and you are prepared. I am so proud to call each of you a fellow alumni. Congratulations, ladies, and thank you in advance.
Wow, a truly powerful message from the Duchess there, and a very important one too. I'm sure the graduates were moved, as we all were. On Thursday, Sky News aired an exclusive 22-minute interview with Charles about the global impact of the COVID-19 crisis. The prince, who is still isolating in Scotland with Camilla, also opened up about the difficulty of being away from his family.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen my father for a long time. He's going to be 99 next week. And so, yes, all my grandchildren or anything. But, I mean, fortunately, you know, at least you can speak to them on telephones and occasionally do this sort of thing. But it isn't the same, is it? You really want to give people a hug every now and then.
Yes, you do. Also on Thursday, Kate connected with one of her longtime charities, Action on Addiction, and was given a virtual tour of the organisation's Clouds House Treatment Centre in Wiltshire. During the visit, which was shared on the royal family's YouTube channel, the Duchess spoke with staff members about their range of services being offered during the coronavirus pandemic.
It's a lifeline to so many people, and you know, it's great that they're able to continue the sport, whether remotely or those who are actually receiving treatment now during lockdown, and providing, you know, life-changing support, really. So yeah, well done, Clouds House.
Great. On Friday, to mark Volunteers Week in the UK, William revealed that he's been donating his time to assist the London-based charity Shout, the organisation which provides a 24/7 crisis tech service for Brits, shared a portion of their video call with the Duke and Duchess where he broke the news.
I'm going to share a little secret with you guys, but I'm actually on the platform volunteering.
Oh, are you? Amazing.
Yes, I am.
So you'll be taking 6 or 7 at a time in no time?
No, I'm leaving that to Michelle, Keel and you guys. That sounds like your bag.
Well, welcome to the team.
And finally, we have a birthday to celebrate. Prince Philip turns 99 today. Of course, everyone here at the Royal Report would like to wish a very happy birthday to the Duke of Edinburgh. All right, now let's welcome today's guest. We are very excited to be joined by Erin Davie, who is starring as Camilla Parker Bowles in the new Broadway show, Diana, A True Musical Story. Erin, thanks so much for being here. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you for asking.
Good to see you. Now, it's been roughly 3 months since Broadway was shut down on March 12th, less than 3 weeks before the show was scheduled to officially open, right? Are you doing anything to stay connected to the character and the production, or do you just have to sort of step away and forget it until things get back up and running?
I've been working on this show for a few years, and so I kind of had her with me for a while. And at this point, I feel like she's a bit ingrained. But yeah, the cast has kept in touch, and we even have gone back into some Zoom rehearsals to work on the material again and like maybe make some changes.
Thank goodness for Zoom, right? That's been the savior. Yeah, I understand last month you actually all got together virtually for a dance battle royale. Tell us about that.
Kelly Devine, the choreographer, put together one of these, these videos. So it's a way to stay connected and, involve everybody. So we all had like 8 counts to move a ball of energy to the next section. And it actually came out really well.
So fun. All right, let's talk about the musical. Tell us a bit about the show, what audience goers can expect.
I think, people hear a Princess Diana musical, they have an idea of what it will be. And I think they're always surprised when they come into our show because it's so much fun and it's funny, but it's also touching and poignant. And it has all of the aspects of, frankly, Diana's life. I think that these amazing things happened to her, but she also, had a lot of gravity and the things that she did and the causes that she championed. And she made a lot of change in the world. So it's a remarkable story.
So what drew you to this role in the first place? What was the audition process like? Any fun stories about how you got the parts?
The best part is that I didn't have to audition. They just said,
"Ooh,
when you do this," a lot of times the first thing you do with a new musical is that you do a reading, which is just actors sitting around a table and reading it. And so, a lot of times they'll just offer it to people who they think would fit the role. And a lot of times those people don't always continue on with the show as it goes along because maybe they're not the perfect fit. But luckily I have stayed on.
You're still here.
Yeah.
Did you see yourself as Camilla?
I do see myself as Camilla in that I always root for the underdog. I love the underdog. I love the person who nobody knows a lot about. And so that definitely drew me to her because she has had such a bad rap all these years. And now I think that people are coming to love her a little bit more and understand where she might have come from. You know, just having this, being in love with somebody who she couldn't be with. It's really the ultimate love story. And they're now together, which is just the best ending, I think, of that story.
Now, I would imagine it would be challenging to play a real person, especially a real person who's still alive. As you mentioned, though, Camilla hasn't been out there in the spotlight too much in terms of doing interviews. So she's still sort of elusive in terms of her personality, what she likes, etc. But what's the hardest thing about playing Camilla to you?
I think the preconceived ideas about her being some kind of villain in the story. I think people come in thinking that she, you know, ruined the marriage and was the other woman, and she was the other woman to an extent. But from everything I've read and everything I've researched, she actually is somebody who people love being around, and she's the life of the party, and she's funny, and she has a lot of layers. And, you know, she ended up getting her man, and it's just, I love the ending to this story.
The Camilla role is so interesting to me because of the three, she's definitely the least known by the public, and many see her as the villain who broke up this fairy tale couple, both of which you touched on earlier. But in reality, of course, she's a human being who was probably quite heartbroken while attending that fairy tale wedding. So now that you've had the chance to become her in a sense, how do you see her as a character and her arc within the musical?
She has a great arc. I think we all love these stories where, you know, people are meant to be together. So yes, in the beginning of our show, she is, she's with Prince Charles. They have a thing, but she is married as well. So throughout the show, she's always by his side, and she's always there for him and helping. And also, you know, has a lot of influence over him and his decisions. So I think everybody learns a lot throughout this whole story. She really, I feel like she comes out on top.
It's interesting. Charles and Camilla celebrated their 15th wedding anniversary this past April, and 15 years was also the official length of Charles and Diana's marriage. How do you think this musical will change the way the public sees this famous love triangle?
I don't think that people often think about it from Camilla's point of view or their relationship's point of view. So I think that it is very interesting to see, you know, the aspect of what they might have been going through behind closed doors, and Charles and Camilla might have been dealing with, and from Diana's point of view at that period of time. I think it's very interesting because it's not a black and white story. It's very nuanced, and it's very intricate, and it's very, you know, you can't just say this was right and this was wrong. I think that there were a lot of feelings involved, and it was a really interesting love triangle.
Well, I know I can't wait to see it, and I know all of New York can't wait for Broadway to open up again. But Erin, before you go, I understand you recently filmed a music video for one of the songs you sing to Charles in the show. We'll have it play us out, but can you set it up for us?
Yeah, so they asked me to record the song that I sing in the show. It's called I Miss You Most on Sundays, which is pretty fitting right now because I think we all miss a lot of things and people. So yes, I recorded the song, and in this show it comes at a time when Charles and Camilla realize that his marriage is really irreparable and that they can't be apart anymore. And this is the moment where they kind of make the decision to come back together.
Wow. Well, Erin, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully we can have you on the show again when we're back in the studio.
Thank you.
All right, the Royal Report will be right back. But first, here's I Miss You Most on Sundays.
I miss you most on Sundays, that idle day when little gets done, just lazy walks and silly talks, the kiss before the week's begun. I miss you most on Sundays. time stands still and we are one. An easy chat about this and that. A cuddle as we watch the setting sun. Why can't we have more Sundays? One day we'll escape to castaways of passion, once again ablaze. I miss you most on Sundays, that idle day when little gets done, just lazy walks and silly talks, a kiss before our future's begun. No more missing you on Sundays. No more missing you on Sundays.
Welcome back. It's now time for our social media minute with our social media correspondent, Gillian Fleischman. Gillian, how are you?
Hi, Sharon. I'm doing great. Happy to be back.
What do you have for us today?
So many great posts this week. Last Wednesday, the Clarence House Instagram page shared this video of Prince Charles showing his support for the National Garden Scheme, which raises money for nurses through the opening of private gardens across England and Wales. With these closed due to the coronavirus, the organization has now created virtual garden visits for people to enjoy without leaving their homes. Prince Charles noted the peace and inspiration a garden can bring. I highly recommend checking these out. They are well worth the time. Last Thursday, the royal family's Instagram page posted these photos taken by the Countess of Wessex, which she submitted to Kate's Hold Still photography project. She snapped them while volunteering at a mosque in Woking and noted the food parcels were going to NHS workers and those in need, and that they had been packed with love. She captured such a great moment. Last Friday, the Clarence House Instagram story highlighted the neighborhood initiative, The Big Lunch, which strives to inspire community spirit around the world by encouraging people to eat and spend time together. To mark the start of their annual Thanksgiving weekend, which is virtual this year, the Duchess of Cornwall shared the recipe for chocolate biscuit cake, which is one of her favorite recipes from the Buckingham Palace cookbook. Once I can find British biscuits in my grocery store, I'll be in the kitchen making this. And finally, this past Saturday, the Kensington Royal page marked the end of Volunteers Week by sharing this image of Charlotte, George, and William volunteering. The photo was taken by Kate, and if Charlotte's outfit looks slightly familiar, it's because photos from this outing were released back in May to mark her 5th birthday. So great to see the rest of the family was also part of this special day. And that's your social media minute.
All right, great work, Gillian. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sharon.
The Royal Report will be right back. Welcome back, everyone. This month marks the 15th anniversary of William's college graduation, which we're remembering with this week's great moments in royal history.
William, Wales.
On June 23, 2005, the royal family gathered in Scotland, where they watched with pride as Prince William of Wales graduated from St Andrews University with a degree in geography.
Catherine Middleton.
William's then girlfriend and art history major Kate Middleton also received her diploma that day. The historic occasion was also noteworthy because it was reportedly the first time the Queen ever attended the graduation of a close family member.
He does face the world, but before leaving, William popped into the local police station to thank them for their support. It's a sentiment he expressed to all the people of the town today.
All right, Royal Watchers, that's our show for today. Remember to follow People on Twitter to watch the latest episodes of The Royal Report, streaming every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm Sharon Carpenter. Stay safe, keep calm, and carry on.